Earlier this year, I found myself on an emergency flight home from Thailand. I'd lost 50% of my eyesight and I had no idea what was happening to me. And I was absolutely surprised by the outcome. It's the story of how things have changed dramatically for me since I lost 50% of my eyesight. And this all started way back when I left Thailand in Valentine's Day, basically, way back in February. Yeah, I'm really going to have to make some choices. That included my YouTube channel and myself personally. I arrived back home here, back in the UK, after a horrendous flight with Eva Airways. Not their fault. Basically the passengers behind me were a little bit rowdy. Again, also got a couple of kids. I've come back here to the UK. I had to get a special flight with Eva Air. I had to pay extra for that. I've actually lost the flight that I was going to come back on because there are no refunds. And all the reason for that is suddenly I was talking to a mate of mine in one of the bars up in the dark side there. I wasn't drunk, I wasn't noisy, I wasn't misbehaving, but as I was leaving, literally saying, you know, cheerio, I got a massive pain in my left eye. Took a paracetamol, took some ibuprofen, and it didn't shift it. It was absolute agony. I then got up. I couldn't see anything properly at all. It was all a blur. I looked in the mirror and horrendously I looked at my face. I could see my face, but I'd only got one eye. I literally could see the right-hand side of my face, but I had no eye in it. Into the other end, go and talk to my other half, and oh, she was there all right, but again, she had no face at all. Very spooky. I then looked at the clock. It's a big wooden clock, but I could see the big wooden clock, but the big wooden clock didn't have any hands, apart from every now and again, one would appear and then disappear again. And to be honest, I really thought maybe I was having a stroke. I've no idea what a stroke feels like, but all these weird images really worried me. I rang up the Bangkok Pattaya hospital, got myself booked in there to go and see the eye specialist. And to give you a bit of background, I do have eye issues. I have what they call Macluar degeneration, so the very back of the eye, in very simple terms, has like tiny varicose veins in it, and I have injections every now and again to keep them under control. Took myself up there. They gave me a retina test, or a scan, you know, so they could look at the retina. They messed around and mucked around for a bit, then saw the doctor, and he reassured me that it wasn't a stroke. And much to my amazement, he said if it had been a stroke, you wouldn't have felt that horrendous pain. And I thought, well, that's a new one on me. My eye was still bad. My other half had to hold my hand to walk through the hospital because I couldn't see what I was doing. He didn't come up with any particular diagnosis, and just really told me that it may be something to do with the macula, which I'd had trouble with before. Anyway, I went back home, thought, what do I do now? I phoned the NHS, the hospital here in the UK I normally attend, and I have a separate number because I've got this thing matter with my eye anyway. It's regarded, if you get a problem, they regard it as fairly urgent. It is a small hospital, but it is a specialist eye hospital. So it was the right place. Much to my delight, some 3 hours later, I got an email back from the hospital, the NHS hospital here in the UK, saying that I should get the eye checked out, which I'd already done. So I emailed them straight back and said I'd done that. And I was proposing to jump on a plane and go back to the UK. I already got an appointment scheduled for the future, but I wanted to cut that short and go and see him straight away if I could. My vision had become terrible, and as I came through the airport, I could hardly read all the signs. What had happened to my vision, the images had become all fragmented, so it was like the picture was all chopped up and muddled up, and a little bit blurred as well. It's very hard to describe it. Eventually come across Eva Air, there was a big queue, and I joined the queue. I started to, and as I did that, I pushed my trolley forward and hit the barrier, and as I pulled it out, I hit the other barrier, and I knocked about 3 of these posts that form the queue over, and then I was entangled into these sort of like a nightmare of black ribbons at that point. Then a gentleman comes over and said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm okay, but I'm having trouble with my vision. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be going, and I'm ever so knocked your barrier over." So anyway, he said, "Don't worry about that, come with me." So he then took me down a separate lane, an assistance lane they call it, and they issued me to the front where I took my big suitcase. A lady at the check-in desk was extremely helpful, and then gave me a boarding pass, like your normal boarding pass, but she'd highlighted the pass in bright yellow, which actually meant that I needed a bit of help here and there, and that seemed to work. They got me onto the plane, and all went pretty well. Well guys, the moment of truth is near. My friend is going to pick me up shortly. He's going to take me over to Bexhill Hospital. It's about a 20-minute drive from here. I must admit at the moment I'm feeling a little bit nervous to the looming outcome. Whether it be good or bad, I suppose I've got to accept it and carry on with it. And there's a lot of people a lot worse off than me. So hope you wish me luck. Anyway, we're off there, see if the Bexhill Hospital, which is quite an expertise hospital, there's a lot of top doctors there, and hope they're able to fix me up and get my eyeballs working again. Otherwise, not so good, is it? I spent a life of being fairly artistic, love driving, love photography, love YouTubing. So anyway, wish me luck, and I'll be on my way shortly. I'll let you know the outcome later. Back from the hospital, they've done lots of examinations of my eyes and check this and check that. It's something that I do have fairly regularly, but not in so much depth. Talking to the eye doctor was very, very helpful and very informative as well. So she elected to give me an injection into each eye. That sounds horrific, I know, but I'm quite used to it because of the macular degeneration that I already have. But we went through it all, and this, that and the other. Told her all my, what I found and what I could see and what I couldn't see. And then much to my surprise, she says, "I think you're suffering from a migraine." I said, "What?" I said, "I come back 7,000 miles for a headache, and I haven't even got a headache." She said, "No, it's called a migraine aura, and basically this sort of migraine effect, as it were, then disrupts your vision, and often your central vision, and this is similar to what I was having. In fact, while I was looking at her, I could only see half her face while I was talking to her. So I've come back, had the injection. That was yesterday. Today my vision has come back a bit better, and I can see clearly, but also still got this, the sparkles that you tend to get with a migraine. So I think she is possibly right. So the plan now is to hang it out for probably a week or maybe two. If it all clears up, fine. So where I was panicking that maybe I had fallen apart and I was losing my vision entirely, it doesn't appear to be that. It does appear to be this migraine problem, which if it hangs in there and keeps coming on, then I have to go and have an MRI scan and see if there's something wrong with me head. And all my friends will tell you that there's always been something wrong with my head anyway. So there you go. Anyway, I'm trying to keep a positive outlook. I'm not looking at my screen. I'm not looking at me editing. I'm not watching too much telly. I'm staying away from coffee, not eating cheese, all those sort of things. So hopefully that will get me better. So I'll give you an update a bit further on. That's where we are at the moment. It's now been a couple of months since I come back from Thailand with a problem with my eyes, and I'll sort of continuing the story as we go. Today I am off to see a specialist doctor, a neurologist, who's going to see what may be the cause. It's got a little bit better. I still can't drive, I still can't write properly, and I have difficulty reading, which has meant I haven't really made a video in all that time. So I'm really disappointed about that, and well, we're trying to do it at the moment. I've got some film left and some videos left, and that I recorded, so I'm trying to put those together into a video currently. Basically the thing is, it's been a permanent migraine, so they reckon, and So it's moved from where I had like a kaleidoscope effect in my eyes, which meant things were in the wrong places and all chopped up and all over the place. It sounds weird. My vision is 20/20, so I can actually see detail, but the detail breaks up and moves all over the place. Seen the specialist. He's basically, all he did was ask me a few questions about this, about that, about what I can see, what I can't see, how it came on and the like. All pretty short really, but he wants me to have an MRI scan so he can check to see if there's anything in my head. I don't think he'll find much really, only a load of YouTube stuff I reckon. So anyway, that's the plan. We've got 2 weeks he reckons before I can come here again. Yeah, I went to that posh private hospital yesterday, all paid for by insurance of course, and the specialist there didn't really give me a clue as to what might be wrong. He didn't ask me a lot of questions I thought he might, because he concentrates mostly on areas of the brain of course, which is always a bit alarming because it's one of those things that, at least me, I don't really like the idea of somebody tampering with my brain. Yeah, I keep wondering what could be wrong with me, and I'm not really sure. My vision is still impaired. It's a little bit better this morning, but it often is on a cloudy day, so I don't really know what to make of it. Well, I went and had my MRI scan, and what a horrendous job that was. It's a bit like wearing a knight's sort of helmet, you know, the sort of medieval knight they put over the head. They put something a bit like that over your head, lay you down, and then slowly track you backwards into a giant dustbin, and then someone comes along and sort of bangs the outside with hammers. Now, it went on for probably about 20 minutes, I think, and it was horrible. I really don't like it. I really don't want one again. Anyway, that's done. I've had the MRI scan. I don't know the results yet, and I will be getting that in a couple of days' time. Go to see the specialist again, and then hopefully they can come up with an idea of what's wrong with my vision. It's got a tiny bit better, but not much. I still can't read, I still can't drive, and it's a real pain in the bum because it's really stopping me doing all the things that I want to do. Right, I've now got that point where I have now seen the neurologist, the specialist, who was looking into what was the matter with my sort of fragmented vision. What has happened, I have a problem with my brain. I have a slight bleed on my brain. He says not to panic. He doesn't expect me to have another one too soon. He's saying that this should take about a year to recover, and my eyesight should come back a bit, but he can't guarantee it. He's not recommending any more treatment. In fact, he's signed me off, and it's now left up to me to see what happens. It's going to take about a year, and we're of course already 10 months into that year as I'm talking to you now. It happened last February, so we're now looking at a couple of months away before that year is up. But anyway, we're going to try and carry on making our YouTube videos. We're going to carry on getting on with life as normal as best I can. I can't drive, and I can't write, and I can't do all those sort of things that I like doing, but I do plan to do some travelling in the new year. Things have got better. I can see a bit better, and I've learned to live with it a bit more, got used to it, but it's still a bugger. I have difficulty seeing the computer. I have difficulty reading, quite frankly, and I get the computer to read it aloud to me most of the time. But it slows me up. It makes me so slow to actually do anything, and I'm a person that likes to get on with things, so that's a bit of a bugger. That's all I can say. Anyway, that's where we are. I will be carrying on making a few videos, but YouTube is a bit of a taskmaster. They don't require you, but you get penalised by the algorithm if you don't keep making videos on a regular basis. So it's now been quite a few months really since I've got on with it, and you can see my figures and all that dropping through YouTube, and then it takes quite a long time to pick them back up again. It's a very, very slow process. I'm going to do a separate video, particularly if you're a person who perhaps fancied making a few videos and wanted to know what the details are, what money do I make out of it, and so on. So I'm going to do a separate video on that and try and work out where the future is. If you are a budding YouTuber, I might even ask your help in the comments and things of how I can make myself much more efficient in making videos, because it makes much too long and even longer now. So that's where we are there. So there we are. Now you know, that's the trouble. It's a bleed on the brain, or my bleeding brain as I like to call it. So there you are, guys and chaps. Thank you very, very much for watching. I really appreciate it if you have watched it to the end. And don't forget, it really does help me and that blessed algorithm if you subscribe to the channel and give us a like. So hope you're going to do that. And I'll see you soon in the next one. And then after that, I've got some video footage that I made earlier, and I should be turning those into some YouTube videos as well. But that is not going to be after Christmas. I've got to look after myself and my little old brain, and therefore I've got to take my time over it and make sure I recover fully before I get carried away. So thank you, and hopefully see you soon, and hopefully see you without too many blurs and funny bits. So see you then. Bye.